Hey, what is up, my fearless networking friend? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. Good to see all of you. I want to revisit a very important subject that seems to be, I don't know, it kind of comes up like Groundhog Day in my life. You know those, if you've ever seen that movie, it's like waking up and it's the same day, Bill Murray, over and over and over and over again. Groundhog Day, right? I think we've all probably seen that movie. And one of the, I think, Groundhog Day questions that I get or issues that people have is, Todd, you know, I'm the only person on the team that's working. I don't have any builders. You know, I put people in and they just never do anything. They never get to work. And I know what that's like because when I began my journey in network marketing, I do clearly remember the first probably easily year I was involved, and I was recruiting and I was putting people in, and it was like, you know, I don't remember what the exact number was, but I had probably recruited during my first year, not that many, maybe 15 or 20 people, and like one guy was working. So let's say it was 20. I'm not saying it was, but I put 20 people in and one dude was showing up, and the rest of them did nothing. And there were times I'm like, why? How is it possible? I put all these people into the business and none of them are doing anything. So how do we look at that? Like if you're in a situation where you're building the business, you're putting people in as distributors, affiliates, reps into your company, and like none of them are doing anything, how do we solve that problem? That's a legitimate question, a very common question that we get in network. You know, I get from network marketers. So first thing I would think is, okay, well, let's look at who you're putting in, right? Like what pool are you or what pond are you fishing in, right? I do think, sometimes people are putting individuals in that didn't have any intention or desire to do the business in the first place. Yeah, they signed up as an affiliate or rep or distributor, but they really didn't have this burning desire to create change. They didn't have this reason why they really wanted to do the business. And I think that's something worth taking a look at. I'm not saying that's the only thing or that's the big thing as far as why people on your team aren't working, but maybe the pond you're fishing in is simply the wrong pond. Again, not necessarily the big thing, but that's where, like, okay, where am I finding people? How am I finding these people? Who are the types of people that I'm putting in that may have something to do with it? I would also suggest to you this, that, you know, as you're growing or attempting to grow this business, what you're doing after the sale or after the enrollment has a lot to do with it as well. So a lot of times people will enroll somebody and, you know, it's like they're resting the moment that they've enrolled them. It's like, oh, it's like a sigh of relief, right? I can rest. I got this person in. That to me is where the real work begins, right? The moment that you enroll a person into your business is where the real work begins, right? That means you've got them in, and now this is where all the action's going to take place. So what are you doing the moment a new rep, affiliate, distributor comes into your organization? Are you plugging them into training? Are you digging in with them and working with them to help them figure it out? Because the thing you have to understand is a person that's never done network marketing before, that's brand new to this profession, they don't know what to do. They're unsure of themselves. They're fearful. They don't know yet. It's new, you know, it's a new environment that they're in. It's uncomfortable. They don't quite understand it. And your job as the enrolling sponsor is to help them understand it and figure it out. Not just to point your finger and say, hey, you know, go figure it out on your own. Now, look, you know, if you recruit, the truth is, if you recruit the right person that's got the desire, that's got the you know, that hunger, that really wants it, you know, you can't stop those people from succeeding, okay? So regardless of what pond you're fishing in, whether you're recruiting up and recruiting professionals, which is something I love to do, or you're just recruiting anybody and anyone that you can put into the business, you know, if you put enough people in, eventually somebody's going to take off. So to some extent, the the law of averages or the law of numbers, whatever you want to call it, comes into play. So if you've like recruited 6 people and none of the 6 are building the business, maybe you just haven't found the right person just yet. And look, we don't know what the numbers are. I mean, you might have recruited 20. I remember in my first network marketing business, first year I put about 20 people in, and I had one guy that was doing something, 1 out of 20. I mean, what if I was at 19 and I hadn't found the one person at number 20 that finally decided to get to work? I'm thinking, man, I put 19 people into this business as distributors, signed them up, and none of them are doing anything. What's wrong with me? Or maybe this thing doesn't work. Maybe I should quit, right? But so there's just a number of different factors. I understand the frustration. I totally understand the frustration. But a couple things to consider. Number one, where are you fishing? What pond are you fishing in? What types of people are you putting in? What are you doing after the transaction? What are you doing after they sign up? Are you just pointing your finger, putting them in front of some fast start training and keeping your fingers crossed? Look, if you're doing that, some people are going to figure it out. The self-starters are going to figure it out. If you have a really great, simple onboarding process, those people are going to figure it out. And it's not your job ever to do it for somebody. It's certainly your job to help guide them, give them direction, help them to understand it and figure it out. If you're just signing people up and you're not doing anything with them and you're just kind of hoping that something's good's going to happen or good's going to come of it, it's unlikely that's going to be the case, even if you have a resourceful person. Now, if you've got the resources, the avenues in which to show somebody the way, if you will, where if you I put you in front of like this fast start training, and the fast start training was simple and comprehensive enough for you to get an understanding of what needed to be done in order to get started and get going in the business, a resourceful person could probably figure that out. But you also have to understand this part of the equation, okay? And this is a really important part. If a person comes into network marketing for the very first time and they've never done it before, it's foreign, it's new, I've never done this, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, I don't get it, how do I do this? And our job is to help those people figure it out. So one of the best things that you can do is have a hands-on approach towards helping that individual grow their business. I mean, literally working with that person and doing reach outs and helping them to start growing a business. Like yesterday, for example, I mean, depending on when you're plugging into this, but yesterday, prior to this recording, I spent about 5 hours working with somebody doing prospecting and working with this woman and helping her do reach outs. And we literally spent from like 11 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon working and helping her to develop her skill sets with regard to reaching out and building a business. So are you taking a hands-on approach in helping people to figure it out? Now, let's say, for example, I recruited you and I'm willing to, provide you all the support. I'm like, hey man, I'm here. Let's work together. Let's schedule a time. Let's get a few hours under our belts and I'll help you, prospect. I'll help you get going. And they're like, and they can never get it scheduled, right? They'll never commit to it. Well, I think that in that case, the individual that you recruited is showing you through their actions or lack thereof that they're really not ready to get moving. Because a person, like, think about it, if you're a willing sponsor, a willing party that's willing to help this new person get up and running, and yet your new person that you brought on board is not willing to commit with you, it's probably the wrong person or the wrong time for that person. It might be the right person, but the wrong time for the right person. And so in that case, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to go recruit somebody else until I find somebody who's willing to actually do something. So, I mean, it could be the numbers. Maybe you haven't put enough people in. It could be the types of people that you're putting in. It could be perhaps what you're doing after the sale. But I get discouragement. I get frustration when it comes to this situation. It's very, very common. It's totally frustrating to put 30 people in the business and like you got nobody building the business. Well, maybe if you ended up getting it up to 100, you got it up to, I put 100 people in the business, and now you got 5 out of, you put 50 in, nobody out of the 50 is doing anything. You're like, I'm going to give up. This is stupid. And all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep at it. You put another 50 in, and over the next 50, you end up, finding 5 builders that actually do something significant. And the truth is that happens. That's common in network marketing. I mean, maybe you get lucky and you recruit 5 people and the first 3 out of the first 5 go do something big. Odds of that are pretty slim. Maybe you have to put in 30, 40, 50, 60. I don't know what the numbers are, but if you're putting the right people in, if you're giving them guidance and direction, if you're hands-on in your approach to helping them get moving, and you just keep on, honestly, it's like, if you've got a process that people can follow, and you, like the phrase that I've used many times, so simple a 7-year-old could do it. If the process of getting going in your network marketing business is so simple a 7-year-old could figure it out, then you've got a recipe for creating duplication. You've got a recipe for getting people into action. Just some things to think about. I get it. I understand your frustration, but you can work past this if you look at those few items that I share with you today. So not sure where you're catching me. Glad you're here, though. Perhaps you're on my YouTube channel. Maybe you're listening to me on podcast. I'd love to hear from you. Love questions. I always love to do blog posts and come back and address and answer questions that come directly from you guys. So, in the comments section on my website, you'll find the details on this episode at toddfalcone.com/episode 113. So thanks for plugging in, and we'll catch you next time.